Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Christine. How are you this morning?
Well, I would be a lot better if I had a coffee. I have something to ask you about.
Tell me.
I am absolutely wide-eyed about this comet,
Oh,
this week's comet, right?
yes.
So
Yeah.
tell me a bit more.
Well, there is a comet is brightening up, and then presumably, I think from the 20th of October, we are able to see it with our naked eye. Are we talking about same one? Are you talking about another one, the three eye?
Yes.
Are you talking about this one? You're
Yeah.
talking about come from the outer space and
Yes.
then so to be honest, there are three comets we can talk about this moment, but let me cut it short. The one I just talked about called Comet Lemon. And
Yeah.
it's supposed to be visible. Comet Lemon is supposed to be visible. This is a comet that we see, and then we're supposed to going to see it from the 20th of October, and then the perihelion would be on the November. I just checked it yesterday. I think we can start to see it with naked eye now. Yesterday morning, I put the photo on. And another comet is surprising called Comet Swan. This one was a small comet supposed to not able to see with naked eye, but suddenly getting a little bit brighter. So we are maybe able to see it. We are not sure. The third one is that one come from the outer solar system, Comet 3i. This one it come very far, and everyone talk about it because some scientists believe that may not a comet rather than alien spaceship, which is like,
Well,
let us take it the scientific way. There is a possibility, and I'm not going to totally deny it, but it's like, are we there yet?
well, we live in interesting times, as
Exactly.
we know. I was quite shocked by this morning's news of the potential tsunami and the earthquake.
The one is in Philippines, just happened early today, right? And there is a huge earthquake. So most Southeast Asia country receive these tsunami warning. Yes.
What's interesting about this is that heliocentrically, and I think there's a link really between the heliocentric conditions and these natural disasters. You have Mars opposing Uranus, in fact, in the early hours of tomorrow morning, but close enough for Jan. And that seems to be the pressure then, the pressure builds, and we have that. From a geocentric perspective, we've also got the moon at nearly maximum declination. And as I think it's at 25 today, 25 north, and it's out of bounds, 23, and we've got a contraparallel between the moon and Pluto. So and I do think you need to mix zodiacs together because you build the picture then. But if you do that, then you would say, well, this is going to be an extraordinary time, which I think it is in a natural sense, but we also have the potential ceasefire, Gaza, Israel, right? Word potential there, because that's what we all want, and hopefully that's what we're going to get. But I was looking at the chart of Israel, and it's that region of the world. It's hundreds, it's thousands of years of dispute, and it's hard to see where, please God, this really does work today. But it's hard to see that there will be long-term peace. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, we have Pluto still at right angles to Haumea.
Yes.
For a long time, right? We have the Saturn Chiron that's going to meet in June of 2028 at 7-8 degrees of Taurus, which is exactly on that chart of mankind eclipse, right? 7. So I think really want to think positively, and I think there are lots of exciting things happening, particularly medical breakthroughs and what have you. But the whole thing is still very unstable.
I agree. It's like you say, this morning is a bit hectic, and not only I wake up with a headache, and I was like, when I see the news, earthquake and then ceasefire, there's so many things.
It's not the easiest of charts, is it? You know,
no, it isn't.
It's not the easiest, and of course we're all dealing with the completely unknown Uranus conjunct Sedna in Gemini, right?
Yes.
And my understanding is correct. We have to go back thousands of years to replicate that. So we can't go back and say, well, 84 years ago it was X, because we just can't.
That is because Haumea's orbit is a super.
Haumea is another one with it's a very similar type of orbit to Pluto. They do a little dance together, but this particular square is rare. So again, we can't replicate that. We can't replicate the Uranus Sedna, right? And it's the little planetary picture because you have Uranus and Sedna in one corner, got Pluto in another, and halfway between the two, you have Saturn and Neptune together. So you have this little triangle. So if you were running a party, for example, right, the Uranus and Sedna people, we know are going to be talking about artificial intelligence over in that corner, right? Pluto in Aquarius will have dug up some deep, meaningful stuff over there. I don't know quite what we feed them on. And then there's Saturn and Neptune people who are trying to organize some traditional type function at the top. It's all a heck of a mix. We've got a Moon Uranus Sedna conjunction in Gemini. So I knew before I started, I knew that. So I made a very simple list for myself today, thinking, let's not go for the jackpot. Let's see if we can get down this particular thing. If I can get all of these points across, I'll feel as though I've done a good job. And she's going to be satisfied. But what happened was we got to about 10 to 10 when, of course, I wanted to finish so that I could be with and have a coffee to you. And she said, is it all right if we go on a bit longer? Like, no, but it was entirely forecastable.
Pretty interesting. 2 days ago, I have a client do the same, and which I have to just like there is no exactly the fixed things we have to fix out. We have to talk about, and the things keep drifting, keep changing the topic.
And I give this a lot of thought because I work with the consultation chart, so I knew. Right, I have some other exciting news I want to talk to you.
Yes, please tell us.
We can come back to what's happening in the next few days. But I got invited to do a 2-day intensive on midpoints and harmonics. And I'm absolutely thrilled about that because it's just that work is like that's the Bible for it all.
Yes.
But I will have an opportunity to expand on some of the things. It's a 2-day thing. It's colleagues abroad, but that doesn't matter. The point is I have a chance to do it. I can do it.
Cool.
I can do that for your school sometime too, because it's
looking forward. Yes.
But then we should really sort of return to the next few days because the list for the next few days is quite amazing because you have the Mars-Uranus heliocentric opposition, which I've mentioned.
Yes.
Then Mars moves into Sagittarius on Sunday or Monday, one of the. It does it at the same time that Venus heliocentrically goes into Virgo. So there's a square between that pair. And I think that's quite a special relationship. It happens quite often, but it's but not against Virgo Sagittarius, right? So it'll be interesting to see what kind of deals people are coming up with over the week. The moon, of course, will have reached maximum and now will be coming down the other side. Really, these next few days are absolutely critical. We know that from what we hear on the news, but planet-wise, it was all indicated as well.
So this heliocentric Venus going to square the Mars and going to form a T-square. Basically, they form a T-square in the heliocentric way.
With Uranus.
Yeah, Uranus, Mars, and the Venus. That sounds pretty intense.
Well, yes, it is. I think this will put pressure on all the planets. It's not just us. Right? Interesting to hear what is reported about the other planets as well, because we don't hear about earthquakes on Mars or whatever, but it might be interesting to know if there are land
Marsquake.
Marsquake, yes, I know.
Sorry, silly.
You see, this Mars-Uranus heliocentrically is happening before the Geo one, which happens at the beginning of November.
Yes.
But in the past, right, and the past is no guarantee of the future, I have to say that, but in the past, when you get the opposition of those, markets tend to rise up into the opposition, hold for a minute, a bit like swimmers on a diving board. They kind of, out there for a minute, right?
Yeah.
And then they have a bit of a dive. So I would be looking in the next few weeks for a downturn.
Obviously, from this financial astrology view, the next few weeks, it is critical. There is a tense there, right? There is from your report and from your formulator. We are anticipate some change.
Yes, we do, because amongst other things, we've got the Mars-Uranus, right? We have geocentrically returning to Taurus, which is a finance sign, right? We have a rather extraordinary full moon picture coming up, that the next one. So a whole series of things. And then, of course, you've actually got common sense as well. Nothing to do with it, right? Just some straightforward looking at this and thinking, why are these markets so high, right, when we have all these difficulties in the world, right?
You don't understand.
It makes no sense. That has to be. And somebody asked me at the weekend about, they were talking about how often there's a crash in October, right? Because we had the 1929, we had the 1980.
Yes.
And of course, this is to do with both Libra, which seeks to balance, right? And Scorpio, who says, well, you got that wrong in the first place. So here's the bottom line, right? And then of course, you get the bounce back with the sun goes into Sagittarius. So in a sense, this is a normal seasonal thing. But this time, it could be infinitely more, simply because Uranus is on that, is on this ingress point. And of course, we must also remember that Saturn and Neptune are on their way to their heliocentric meeting in Aries in the middle of December.
Wow, that sounds like
on the world axis, like wow.
Definitely. That's pretty intense now.
Most times people are asking you, what's going on?
Forecasting.
Right. This time they're actually asking me to go back over Pluto's thing in Capricorn. What do you along the way? What happens? That's really cool. And then so that's the New York on Saturday the 25th. Then Saturday, 26th I'll do my normal monthly class thing. And then October the 31st, right?
Is that Halloween?
Halloween, yes. Yes, with the Bitcoin white paper. But I will hand in the last bit of the manuscript for the solar book. So so it's all. And then there's this guy in London.
I was still. Who is she talking about? Yes. Okay. I'm going to mention about this. Is our Academy of Astrology online conference is coming up on the 5th to 7th of December. That is a really great prize for everyone want to join for the forecasting technique. We have Sultan King going to talk about secondary progression. Marcus Patchett talking about primary direction. So we nearly cover a lot of not prediction. I prefer say forecasting technique. And then another side, we have Christine going to talk about the 2026 to 2032 Europe. And we're all going to focus on some certain mundane theme, Pluto, Uranus, and the Saturn Neptune's triangle, small triangle. So all this topic will be covered. So if you are interested, please go to the website AOA uk.co.
We're lucky that we have people like you that bring together, lots of bits of thought. So it makes it really enriching. Now, I feel really honored to be taking part.
Thank you. It's a fun thing to do, and we can exchange our idea, and that is always, All right, so I think it's so fun to have you today here, and I hope you can get coffee soon, but also have a nice trip to Canada.
Because then I've got a meeting with the editor of my books. So an introduction to financial astrology. And that's actually the way she's laid it out is absolutely beautiful. I just have to make the words meet up to the way that she's laid it out.
Okay.
We've got that. That's my other thing today. So next time we speak, Rod, I will have just come back.
I'll be very nice to you. I will give you plenty of time to have a coffee.
Okay, all right. Okay, that's the deal.
Thank you, Christine, and thanks everyone.
And I've been waiting in the shadow of the sun.